Hi everyone, my name is Rajashekar. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be exploring features of Unreal Engine, the latest one, 5.1. The very first feature, lights can now trigger without play button on. You no longer need to have the play button pressed and stopped. All you need to do is send a signal from your light programming software and it works. Let me show you what I meant. I have the Chamsys ready. This is a virtual set which I've been working on recently. The moment I trigger the light from Chamsys, it works. You don't even need to press the play button. That's the best part. That saves our time and you can instantly see all the updates then and there without any delay. That's feature number one. Let's move on to the second one. Second one is changes in DMX library, specifically in the Fixture patch tab. Let's get inside the DMX library. The other two tabs remains the same. The Fixture patch tab has gone through a major change. As you can see, the looks of the patch, they now have a different color. And these are all the lights we patched. Right away you can notice, for every lights you patched, you have an option to change its type, mode and address information. This makes it easier if you want to push a light to any desired universe and address easily. But if you want to move them as group, you need to follow the same old method. Let me quickly show you what I meant. You can see I've utilized until 4th universe. Imagine if I want to move this to the universe 5 and to a different address. Say I want to move this to 5.100. And if you see right away, the fixture has moved to the 100th address of the 5th universe. It's quite handy. And if you want to collectively move them all to 5th universe, same as before, select all the fixture and choose the universe to 5. They exactly move to the same address of the 5th universe. Let's put them back to 4. And not just changing address, you can also change the mode, the fixture type itself. You can switch from laser to matrix or wash or any of the lights for that matter, and the IDs, the name of the fixture. So that's a cool feature which we have. Let's play the program fader from Chamsys. The lights are looking better. I personally find that they look better in this version and the performance is smooth. If you want to see the gobo patterns, you need to make sure your engine scalability is set to medium. It should be the same for any other version for that matter. What I noticed is only when you set it to medium, you will be able to notice the gobo pattern. Let me show you one more example. So I'm selecting a Sharpie group which I've created, giving them a color. Let me try to change their position, and I'm changing the gobo pattern. So as you can see, you're seeing the patterns on the screen right now interactively. The way it looks is also nice. That's what I was referring to. Right now I'm playing this on a low quality. Since I'm recording screen, I've set the scalability to medium. But if you set it to epic and cinematic, you would still find some more quality of the light overall scene as well. Just to let you know, we have individual quality settings for any lights for that matter. So for example, in the center floor, if I'm selecting all the Sharpies and if I go to details tab, I have an option to increase level of intensity for all the lights together, the distance they throw, and the every other parameters you can play here. Play with these values accordingly based on how much your computer can push. While working, I would recommend you to keep it on low or medium or high. And when you're rendering out the project, you can set it to ultra, and settings can be high as required. So it's totally up to you. You can select all the lights and change the values in one shot. Let's move on to the next section. So this is about the common doubts you people might have from the 4.26 version of tutorial which I've been making on this channel. There is one elaborate tutorial on Chamsys and Unreal Engine which was posted long ago. I used to always point to people to that video to get the basics. So here's a small tip. No matter whatever version you are using, you need to make sure the lights mode match between Unreal Engine and Chamsys or any program you use for that matter. To get the lights mode in Chamsys, these are the steps. Patch any manufacturer lights and its type, then go to patch, And if you go to view chance, which is view channels tab, I've patched a clay packy manufacturer for Sharpie. So this is the first set of clay packy Sharpie. It has 16 functions, and you would notice the color, shutter, dimmer. These are the modes or functions in order. So back in Unreal Engine, let's get inside DMX library. If I take my Sharpie, if you see, I've exactly maintained this order: color, shutter, dimmer, gobo, so on and so forth until 16. And for those functions which are not there, you need to choose select a value and leave it as it is. But make sure to maintain the order as it is. In my older tutorials, you might be missing these information. For people who are new, please be aware of this. Say, let's try to check whether we have a prism function. So I think Unreal Engine, they have included the prism. Let's see whether they have prism rotation. No, they don't have prism rotation. So what we need to do, just leave it as it is. And this one would be FX moment. I think FX is not there. So select a value and leave it as it is. Frost, focus, pan. We don't have pan F. Okay, so let's leave it as it is. And then tilt F, and let's see whether we have function. We don't have function. Okay, then reset, and finally we have lamp. Lamp is also not there, so leave it as select a value. You will get all the details of functions, modes, order in this view channels tab. Make sure to follow the same and replicate the same in your Unreal Engine's DMX library. There's a common question like the Unreal Engine and Chamsys won't connect. I have a separate video on my channel on this topic, but let's discuss few points which could be useful. The very first thing, the DMX needs to be in receive and send mode. In your Unreal Engine, make sure these two are having a check mark. By default, this will be enabled in Unreal 5.1. Just make sure it is there. That's one. And the second one, go to edit, project settings, go all the way down to DMX, and your input and output ports, expand those two ports. Make sure your network interface card IP address is set to 0 for input and output as well. They should be 0. And the extern universe start should be 0. So this is the second thing which you need to look into. And by default, it is there in 5.1. This is just for any other older version if you are using for that matter. And all the universes which are using needs to be enabled in Chamsys. If you have installed Chamsys for the first time, make sure it's enabled by going to setup, and then you go to view DMX IO. Set the status to enabled by double clicking on it. So very first time when you come here, these will be disabled. So make sure to enable as much as you can as required. And the net host options should be normal and loopback IP. So you get that by going to setup, view settings, network. Under network, the net host options should be normal plus loopback IP. Also make sure ArtNet type is set to normal. These two are the only settings which you need to look into. Make sure DMX light modes are in order. Same as we discussed before. You need to make sure all the lights which you have in the scene are linked to its corresponding patch file. If all these points we discussed are in place, and if still the lights aren't triggering, you can give one more try by disabling your antivirus program temporarily, test the lights, and then turn it back on. If you notice, when you disable your antivirus program, and if this works, possibly your antivirus program is blocking the ports of Chamsys, which you need to look into. So that's about the common problems anyone who's new might encounter. I'm sharing a card on the screen now, which has my complete tutorials from Unreal Engine 4.26 until 5. People who are new to DMX, I recommend them to watch the in-depth basic videos first. Every video title mentions which Unreal Engine versions you're looking into. So the idea is to grasp the basics in 4.26 series of videos and get oriented to 4.27 and the 5 version. The DMX library alone changes from 4.26 to future versions. 4.27, 5, 5.1 all are same. So that was a quick intro to the 5.1 and the changes I noticed on DMX lighting. I'll keep you all posted if I come across anything interesting. Hope this video was useful in tackling common doubts you had regarding Unreal Engine and Chamsys. I'll see you all soon in another video. Do subscribe to the channel. Do share it to anyone who is looking forward to learn virtual DMX lighting using Unreal Engine and Chamsys. I'm Rajashekar signing out. Take care. Bye.